how's it going? I know it's been a while since I've streamed on here, and there is something that I need to do. Hopefully I can pull it up here. Pretty sure I can. Okay. Yeah, so I'm actually going to set this to subscribers only, this whole live stream. Even though I haven't been on YouTube for 15 years, I'm going to set it to 15 years. Although, wait, that won't work because... Yeah, I think I'll just do 3 years. Because I know that, you know, if I do 15 years, then basically no one would hop on the stream. You know what? For the safe side of things, I'm just going to do 2 years. There we go. Yep, Zach D Productions turn on subscribers only mode. 2 years, yeah. So only the true subscribers could be in here. What's going on, Max Palmer? Prison Meddler, what's going on, man? Yeah, so we'll see how this goes. Like I said, I know it's been a while since I've last done a stream. But it is what it is, you know? I mean, the only thing I'm concerned about when I set my settings on for subscribers for 2 years is, you know, I'm just wondering if there's one of those scenarios where, like, you guys have unsubscribed for some reason, you know? I don't know why you would, but like maybe like to test something out or something. You know how it goes. So that's why I was a little iffy on that. So, hopefully it works out. Yeah, and what is up with me? Okay. Okay, it's just replies. Hey, what's going on, Junebug? Junebug, have you been subscribed for... You know what? The more that I think about it, I think I should set it to 1 year. You've only been subscribed for a year? Yeah. Oh, well, you know what? I think that has to do with you being a moderator. I think that's why you're able to comment. So if you've only been subscribed for a year, I'm like, well, wait, how is Junebug here? And then I realized, oh, well, maybe it has something to do with him being a moderator. And that gives him the privilege to hop on the stream and comment. Which obviously is fine. But the reason I have not been streaming recently is because the last time I did, I had these really extreme trolls show up. But whatever, you know, I'm not gonna worry about that anymore. You're special, yeah. For sure. Yeah, I had to set my subscribers only mode on through the laptop because it wouldn't give me the option through my phone for some reason. So, oh well. Thank you, autocorrect. I'm special. Yeah, there you go. And it has been a while since I've last streamed, so hopefully everything that went on then is basically done and over with. Hopefully that's all said and done. Love your live stream, bro. Keep up the good work. What is your favorite version of Linkin Park Faint? Is it the 2007 version or the 2004 version? I don't really have a favorite Linkin Park show. My favorite version of Faint, I don't know. Probably the original from Meteora. I mean, I don't think I've ever heard another version of Faint. But I could be wrong. I'm good. Just moved to my grandma's house town, so I'm staying at my grandparents' place this week. Keep an eye on grandma, so in essence, I'm babysitting grandma. There you go. So, yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. But yeah, I know that Red is supposed to be releasing a new song here shortly. I didn't know it was going to be today. Like, I knew that they had a single coming out in August, but I don't know. For some reason, I didn't think it was today. I don't know why. I thought it was like later in August or something. And like, we're getting the new album in September, so why are we just now getting the first single if the new album is going to be out in September? Something about that doesn't really add up to me, because usually bands like to, announce new albums that'll be out within like the next couple of months, or at least, what you call it. Well, I know that they've announced the album, a long time ago, but how is it that we're just now getting something, you know? Like, we're getting an idea of what the album is going to sound like and everything. It just seems a little late for that, that's all. I know Linkin Park has another version with Jay-Z in it. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think Linkin Park did do that collaboration album thing with Jay-Z, I think. Well, basically, I just have to make sure she eats a good meal. I just made frozen pizza. Oh, nice. Hey there. Hey, Andrew Bebe. Welcome. Nice to stream again. For sure. For sure. I just thought that now would be a good time because I've been honestly pretty fired up today. So, I've been kind of afraid to stream, if that makes sense. So, I'm just in this sort of mood like, yeah, come at me, And these are the type of moods that I get in where I actually do want to stream, Like, all right, come on. If you got something to say it. Wait, is Red coming out with a new single tonight? Hopefully it's better than Declaration. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's coming out tonight. And I also do hope it's better than Declaration. I mean, I personally don't see how it wouldn't be, because Declaration was definitely underwhelming. I can't even tell you the last time I listened to anything from Declaration. That album was just so underwhelming. I mean, I would still probably say it's better than Gone, but not by much. Like, I wouldn't say that it's much better. Like, I'd say it's a little bit better, but not by much. So there's that. But yeah, I know that the Meg sequel comes out, I think tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday, right? Yep. Yeah, I think it comes out tomorrow. That's crazy. Yeah, I do hope to see the new Meg movie at some point. Even though it got like a 4 out of 10 on IGN or something, which I'm like, really? Like, come on. I haven't seen the movie yet, obviously, but come on. It's got to be above a 4. It's got to be. There's no way it's a 4 out of 10. I mean, just based on the trailer, it looks better than the first one. I mean, it seems like there's going to be like more to it. There's going to be like more creatures and, you know, more action and stuff to it. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. I have come to the point where I believe their first 3 are their best. Yeah, I'm pretty much in that same boat as you, Kyle. Even though I also do like Release the Panic and Of Beauty and Rage. Release the Panic is one of those albums that I kind of had a love-hate relationship with. You know, I remember there was a time where I believed that that was their worst album, but it's actually not. It's actually quite good, and I've overlooked it. You know, some people might complain that, oh, it's too different, but maybe different is what Red needed at the time. And I think that that's what they need now. I think Red needs to do something different. And I think that's what Declaration's problem was it was trying to it was basically trying to capture that original sound, but like make it heavier or something. Like, hey guys, did you like Of Beauty and Rage? Well, you're gonna like Declaration. Well, Declaration is still nowhere near as good as Of Beauty and Rage. You know, I know that fans of some bands do complain and moan and, you know, whine about how some bands, you know, change their sound up too much, you know, oh, they haven't went back to their original sound on this album or whatever, but sometimes bands do need to change, you know. Of course it does depend on the band and, you know, what works for them, you know. So, I mean, that's something else that that needed to be pointed out. I'm trying to talk to Fabio. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay, I don't know why my sound cut out there for a moment. I'm trying to talk to Fabio into People Are Stupid, the motion picture. That sounds funny. Yeah, that should be interesting. I mean, I'm not sure how that would work, but okay. I see it as Death Wish meets the Punisher. Okay. Well, that sounds interesting. I mean, I've never seen Death Wish, but I have seen the Punisher. So, yeah, I mean, you could talk to him about that, I guess. There was actually one video idea that I had that involved movies, and it's actually movies I dislike with actors that I love. I thought that that would be an interesting video. Basically, see it as Fabio gets tired of trolls and he takes care of them. Yeah. Hey, you never know. I mean, a motion picture like that might be enough to scare these guys away. You know, I know that Fabio gets trolled really hard in his videos sometimes. That one dude that trolled his channel recently, I think his name was like Aiden or something. Like he leaves a reply on one of my comments, and I'm like, what do you want, dude? Like, I just don't get these people. You guys hear me okay? Because I feel like my sound keeps cutting out. Um, yeah, can you guys hear me okay? I just want to make sure. Oh, right now you can? Oh, okay. Okay, now I can read this comment because I didn't want to read it off and, you know, you guys not hear me. But anyway, Kyle says, I think the only video of Fabio's I've seen is the disliking Disney video. I even left a comment on there. Oh, okay, yeah. That was a good video of his. I was on the stream once where a troll pretended to be gay and then started flirting, and he blocked him and made hate videos calling phobic. Well, but see, that's what some of these people do. Like this is a tactic that they'll do. They'll push you and push you and push you. Like, oh well, I'm not the problem, even though I'm the one harassing. And then whenever that individual does something about it, then that makes them the problem. Make it make sense. I'm telling you, man, we need to go back to the days where, you know, we settle things like men. Hey, let's meet up in the parking lot. I mean, I've always believed that. Yeah, you cut out for a minute or two, but I can hear you. Okay. Right now I can. Cool. I don't like trolls recently. This troll with the username Uber comment on all my YouTube videos in a negative way. Yeah. So you said, I think we just need to go back to dueling. Yeah, for real. But see, these clowns, like the people that Fabio deal with, like they're just cowards. They're keyboard warriors. They don't believe in settling things in person. And that's how things need to be. You know, they're tough on the internet, but like, ooh, like, you know, because that's the thing about the internet. Like, you can say whatever you want to anyone and not get punched in the face for it, when that's how it should be, because that's what some of these idiots deserve. And I'm not just talking about the trolls that Fabio deals with. I'm also talking about the people that I deal with, on this platform or on social media or whatever. Like I said, like we just need to go back to the time where, we said, hey, let's meet up in the parking lot and let's settle things that way. Hey, what's up, Ridge Gets Real? You once saw a bumper sticker on a car that said something about promoting harassing people and arguing with them on the internet about politics. Dang, dude. I mean, I will admit that I kind of used to be that way. I mean, even still today, sometimes, I'll leave comments to people online and stuff, but it's not like how it used to be. As hard as it is to let something slide, it's something that I've been learning to get better at. Like, yeah, like I think this person has said some stupid stuff, but you kind of have to let it slide. Because at the end of the day, you can't change everyone's mind. Selena Gomez was just fired from the Walt Disney because they wanted her in a woke thing. She told Bob to his face, F you. Oh, really? Interesting. I mean, good on Selena, I guess. See, that's because Selena Gomez actually looks like a woman, unlike the people that do promote woke stuff. But I don't need to go into that, I don't want to get called misogynistic or something, just because, I know what a woman looks like. People can't intelligently debate either anymore. Yeah, I know. Because all they do is call you racist. That's a lot of these people's core argument. And it doesn't make sense. Only thing I don't like about her is she dated Justin Bieber. Yeah, for real. I mean, you can't really judge someone by who they date because, I mean, some of the girls I dated back in the day, like, I wouldn't say that I like them now necessarily, so there's that. Hey, I think Selena Gomez is smoking hot. Yeah, she's fine. I mean, she's not the most attractive girl I've ever seen, but she's fine. The only Selena Gomez song I'm really familiar with is the Round and Round one I used in the toothbrush from back in the 2000s. Oh, really? Are you talking about those toothbrushes that played music or something? Yeah, but see, the thing is with Selena Gomez is she's already like this massive star. So I feel like she can get away with like turning down like woke stuff, unlike, someone like me, like because I feel like I have to like put my foot in the door somehow, like even if it is a woke thing. Because obviously I'm not, a big film star or action star or whatever. So, oh, that is what you're talking about, Kyle? Okay. I remember when Ben Burnley went off on a Star Wars game. Okay. Yeah, I think I do remember that. I remember I think he went off on Halo 5 as well, if I'm not mistaken, which was pretty interesting. I mean, I agree with his thoughts, but I just thought that was kind of funny. Oh yeah, he did break. Yeah, Selena Gomez should play whoever that is and remake. Yeah, I have no idea what that is. Never even heard of that. Something about Macedonian Greek? Yeah, I don't know what that is. What do you think is Ben's political or his politics, if you had to guess? I'm glad if he leaves it out of his music regardless. Yeah, I'm glad he leaves it out too. He strikes me as the type to be. He strikes me as the type to lean a little conservative, but I don't know. I would say more neutral than anything. That's another thing too. I noticed online that I think it was the guitar player for Seven Dust. Like he said, "Oh, I can't perform this show because I got COVID." Like I had to take a step back for a moment. I'm like, wait, I'm sorry. What year are we in? Are we really still in 2020? I mean, not that it still can't exist, but I found that kind of funny. And I like Seven Dust and everything. But I just found that kind of interesting. I would suggest not starting with the one from 1963 because that movie is 4 hours and 30 minutes. Wow. Wow, okay. See, I couldn't do that. I couldn't sit through a movie that long. I mean, I guess it would have to depend on what it is. Like, if it was a John Wick movie or something, then yeah, I could probably sit through 4 hours of that. But I don't know what that movie is that you're referring to, so um, I don't know if I could sit through 4 hours of that. And that's also one of the reasons why I haven't watched Zack Snyder's The Justice League yet, because it's 4 hours long. Like, why would I want to sit through 4 hours of a Justice League movie? Oh no, help, I have the flu. Yeah. New woke Indiana Jones bombed so badly. Finally saw it and hated it. Did you really? Wow. Yeah, in my opinion, Indiana Jones should have. They should have stopped at Crystal Skull. They should have just left it at that. I know what you mean. Me and my mom were driving down the road. The other day, I saw a woman wearing a mask by herself. Yeah, that's what gets me. Like, I understand in other countries, like in Asia, like I know that mask wearing is really big in those countries, which that's part of their culture. That's excusable. But like when I see like people like here, for instance, and they're alone in their car, or like you said, they're by themselves, It just doesn't make sense. Why does the Queensryche guy talk politics? He's not even a founding member of the band. I have no idea. I have no idea. And it doesn't help that Queensryche only has a few good albums, and that's it. That would be like a new guy taking over Breaking Benjamin and pushing nonsense. Yeah, that's true. And granted, I didn't really get into Queensryche till long after Jeff Tate left Queensryche. So, you know, because I know I'm late to every band I get into, so. Yeah, that would be horrible, though, if, like, well, first of all, they shouldn't even call themselves Breaking Benjamin anymore if Ben Burnley ever left the band. A 4-hour movie would need 1 and 2, like the new Mission Impossible. Exactly. That is how you should handle it, I think. And see, like, sometimes I'll do double features, which I know that some people might say, well, you can't sit through 4-hour movies, but you know, you can watch 2-hour movies, 2 of them back to back. Yeah, because it's not the same movie. You know, I like a little variation, you know? Like, let's say, like, I do a double feature with one movie that's an action movie, and then the next movie I watch, you know, immediately after might be something totally different, like a martial arts movie or something. And I heard that the next Mission Impossible movie might get delayed. I hope that's not the case, because I really do want it to come out next year. It's a historical epic, like 10 Commandments. Okay, I don't know why I feel like I've heard of that movie. Because I remember some historical movie like that being like 4 hours long or something. I saw a dude in a Nissan Leaf wearing a mask in his car all by himself. He was a white dude with purple hair. Of course. Of course. Because who else would it be? Oh my gosh. What is the most generic metalcore band you know of? Probably that one metalcore band I reacted to. I forget what they're called. I think Canvas something. They're a really small band, so I don't know. Todd Latour, like, oh gosh. Kill Bill was a good movie with a part 1 and 2. Imagine if all that was just a one long movie, a little exhausting to watch. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like movies, they don't need to be so long, you know? Like if you have all this stuff filmed that's like 4 hours, then just make it a sequel. Just cut it in half and make the other half a sequel. That's all you have to do. Breaking Benjamin, actually the only band I can think of that's 100% apolitical. Oh, okay. 10 Commandments was a 1956 movie based on the books of Exodus in the Bible. It was 4 hours long. Good movie, by the way. Oh, okay. If you start getting trolled again, you just start crackhead comment of the day. Yeah, I could start my own version of that. Todd Latour should get with Billy Joe Armstrong. Yeah, he should. I think Red is heavier than Breaking Benjamin. Yeah, they kind of are. I mean, Release the Panic, I think is heavier than anything in Breaking Benjamin's catalog. You ever listen to Marduk? If that's even how you say their name. No, I have not. You make more money that way. Your viewers want to watch part 2 instead of paying 1. They should pay 2. Yeah. It's safe to say that Red vocally is at least almost metalcore at times. Yeah. Kind of. Kind of. Like, I think if you are a fan of bands like Red and Breaking Benjamin, I think fans of those type of bands would have an easier time getting into metalcore. Like, if you're wanting to explore metal, I think that metalcore is basically the best way to go. It's also the head of the, I believe. Oh, okay. But yeah, the next movie I'll probably see in the theaters is probably The Meg 2. And then after that, probably either the new Equalizer movie or the next Expendables. It's funny how the alt rock fandom is very conservative in the core and based liberal. They are closely connected. You'd be surprised how many metalheads have liberal beliefs. I mean, it seems like there's most of them. Most of them kind of are. I mean, if you want to bond with conservative people in music, you kind of got to go to country for that. I mean, that's just the way that it goes, unfortunately. First Friday of January next year, I'm going to do the Junebug Film Awards, and that is one of the awards. Just for the trolls. Okay. Like Skillet and Three Doors Down are both right-leaning. Yeah, you make a good point. Yeah, he was Andrew. He made a speech or holding a musket and said, "In my old dead hands." Do you like that movie Gladiator? Russell Crowe was really good. Oh, I didn't know Joaquin Phoenix was the villain in that movie. I have heard of Gladiator. I know that Fabio said good things about that movie. And from my work, show we're going to do the best and worst you can get worst, giving them a goal. Oh gosh. Goal in piece of turd. I see what you did there. You're really looking forward to Napoleon. Napoleon Dynamite? What if we actually did get a sequel to Napoleon Dynamite? Have you ever did a meet and greet with the band? Kind of. I did meet Brian Head Welch from Korn, so there's that. Ivan Moody's political beliefs, I'm pretty sure he's conservative. pretty sure. But I'm not a fan of their music though. And that's the thing too. Like, you know, yeah, these guys might have like these conservative beliefs, but their music's not that good. Would you like to go meet Billy Joe Armstrong? I think that's going to be a pass for me. I'm not even really a fan of Green Day anyway. There's only really like maybe 3 songs I like at most from Green Day. That's really about it. Billy Joe Armstrong is an American idiot. Yeah. Now I see what you did there too. I mean, I do wish Fabio would show up to my stream sometimes, because, you know, like, I always go to his stream, so it's like... But, you know, I know that, you know, sometimes our schedules are different and everything, so... And he also streams a lot more than I do, so... You did know Joaquin Phoenix acted as a kid. He was in some 80s movie called Space Camp. Yeah, I had no idea Joaquin Phoenix has been acting for that long either. I mean, the only thing I really know him in is the Joker. The girl from Indiana Jones Temple of Doom. Okay. I'd be tempted to hit him if I ever did meet. Oh, okay. What rock band would you like to see do a Transformers theme for a new movie? Yes, Andrew, I did. What do you mean what do you mean a Transformers theme? I mean, I'm not really heavily into Transformers. But I can kind of see Breaking Benjamin doing a theme. And I also think Ben Burnley has a Transformers tattoo as well. I was shocked to find out how long Scarlett Johansson has been acting in her career all the way since Home Alone 3. Yeah. It's funny because I never knew that till like a few months ago. Like, I remember Home Alone 3 from my childhood, but I never knew that she played the sister of the main kid in that movie. So that was kind of interesting. Didn't you meet Demon Hunter? I mean, I saw Demon Hunter live, and I had Ryan Clark answer a question for me on social media, and they also commented on my YouTube channel. But that's basically about as far as it goes. And of course, they've liked numerous stuff of mine on social media, whether it was posts or comments or whatever. I wouldn't mind going to space. I totally would. Put me in a space shuttle, launch me, enjoy the best view ever, yeah. And you can actually tell us if the Earth is round or flat. That's another thing that this is a whole other thing that we could get into. You know, with the whole flat Earth thing, like, who cares? Like, when people like would ask me, do you believe the Earth is flat? I'm like, who cares? If it's flat, it's flat. If it's round, it's round. Who cares? It's not going to change the way we live. So who cares? You know, that's basically my attitude about it. Transformers would be perfect for the... Oh, Tourniquet would be the perfect for the Transformers credits. Yeah, maybe. The Transformers theme song, Robots in Disguise, more than meets the eye, yeah. It's funny because me and Nick actually made up our own parody of the Transformers theme, but you know, because this is the internet and some people are really sensitive, I'm not going to sing the parody here. But I'm sure you can guess an idea of what that is, though. Billie Eilish in the Transformers soundtrack? Hopefully not. Yeah. Demon Hunter is conservative, I think. I'm pretty sure. If not, they're pretty close to it. I mean, just listen to the song Freedom is Dead. That basically tells you all you need to know. Actually, I think Ryan Clark stated that he's not anything political, which is kind of what I am. Like, I don't really want to associate myself with either side. I know Fabio doesn't like them, but Dragon Force would be awesome for a Transformers theme. Yeah. Yeah, I never got into Dragon Force either. Green Day, I'm not a fan of them either, but I used to like them when I was 14. Oh, okay. I love this lyric. I will learn to love and hate. Learn to hate again from Tourniquet. Yeah. You like Dragon Force? Cool. Yeah, that's cool if they're for you, but I've never got into them. Cutlass has replied to some of my comments. So from Seventh Day Slumber has read out loud some of my comments on live streams. Pretty cool. Yeah, that is pretty cool. It's always a good feeling to get recognized by bands you like. James Hetfield played with Billy Joe Armstrong, but not Ben Burnley. Why? Because Metallica's a way bigger band than Breaking Benjamin. And I think Green Day is bigger than Breaking Benjamin as well. And by the way, today is actually James Hetfield's birthday. So, in celebration of James's birthday, I will do a James Hetfield impersonation. Yeah! Bud is live. His voice irritates you. Oh gosh. I'm not even worried about what Bud is doing right now. My surreal moment was getting recognized and streaming with the Legend Christian, who is my idol for this kind of videos I make. Village and Christian. Why does that name sound so familiar? Do more Hetfield? do you like my James Hetfield impersonation? He's 60 now, yeah. For whatever reason, I thought he was older. Like, he's the same age as Keanu Reeves, basically, and Donnie Yen. Donnie Yen also recently turned 60. Sing I Disappear Right Now, the hey, hey, hey part. Oh, gosh. Oh, that's the guy App Bruin stalked for years. Oh, okay, yeah. See, I forgot about App Bruin. Didn't it get discovered that, like, he was basically faking his legalism this whole time and he was really a metal fan or something? Budweiser's company has lost $10 million. Yeah, I can believe that. Joey's World Tour is about to be 60. Yeah, I think that's what you've said, Prison Meddler. That's hard to believe. That dude needs to start acting his age. Throwing the sign Hand sign he claims is satanic. Oh, good God. You know, it's kind of funny because I remember seeing one of his videos, like where he was trying to expose Demon Hunter for being a satanic band, and I've noticed that one of the examples that he used was actually one of my previous Instagram posts. So I was like, wait a minute, didn't I post that picture? So yeah, I was a little like, what? I mean, I didn't say anything about it, but I was just like, that's interesting. Yeah, Joey's World Tour is the food guy. Nick Ocado is also the food guy as well. The Who is talking about putting out a new album. Yeah, I've never got into The Who. I do have one of their CDs, though, only because I got it for free, basically. I got it for free because the person that was giving away all these CDs just didn't need them anymore, and I thought I could use them to trade in or something, so... And the exchange wouldn't take the CD for whatever reason, so I'm kind of stuck with it for now. I mean, I don't know if the CD works or not. I mean, I haven't tried it, so... I mean, maybe I can try selling it on eBay. But, you know, I don't want to sell something that doesn't work. Because, you know, I'm not like that. I'm not a D-bag like that. You know, I don't want to sell something that don't work. Because I know what that's like. In fact, my copy of Big Generator by Yes is actually a broken copy, and I did get a refund for it. And I still do own the album because I do have the Yes collection, this little box set thing that comes with all their 80s albums, and Big Generator is included in that, so technically, yes, I do have a working copy of that album, so that's cool. And if I ever wanted to, I could put the disc that was included on that box set in the jewel case to my original CD. So there you have it. I have 4.4K subs, and I don't have a nickname of any kind. I need one, just a random guy, I guess, yeah. With random content, too. Not that that's a bad thing, though. What album is it of The Who? I think it's a greatest hits. I think it's like The Who Icon or something like that. I'm pretty sure it's a greatest hits CD. Do you still got Siren Charms? Yeah, I do. Mostly because I'm kind of a completionist, and I gotta have all the In Flames albums. But it's still their worst album, in my opinion. The new album, Forgotten, is actually really good. I'm actually quite surprised how well that album has been holding up for me. I mean, I am not afraid to say that I think it's one of my favorite albums of this year. Still to this day, probably. I still thoroughly enjoy some of the songs from that album. I think the thing is, In Flames, they finally got it right. They finally got it right. Do you ever think it's strange to own 2 copies of the same album, but it's from a box set? Keep both copies? Yeah, I typically do that if I get a box set or something. Because, like I said, that Yes box set that I have, it does come with their 80s albums, but I already have working copies of the other albums that it comes with. But of course, I still hold on to them because, well, they do come in different packages, and I'm pretty sure they're the original album as well. Like, they don't include any of the bonus stuff or anything, so that's kind of a plus right there. Like, I know that some people, they like when albums come with some bonus tracks and stuff, but it's kind of significant owning like the original album, like without all the, like, not the remaster. Like, it feels original basically. So that's kind of how I feel about the other pressings, the ones that come in the box set. I'll take Siren Charms off your hands if you want. I'll still hold on to it because, like I said, I'm kind of a completionist. Gotta have all the In Flames albums. But, I mean, I'm sure you can find a copy for it on eBay for, like, probably no more than $10. I bet you can find it maybe for around $7. I could probably bet you can find it. I always thought that it'd be funny if Yes put out an album called No. It would be funny if that ended up being their final album. Like, yeah, guys, we're gonna put out our final album and it's gonna be called No. Tony probably has like 20 plus copies of every Break Invention CD. Yeah, because there's just there's no other CDs to get supposedly. Even though you have one Iron Maiden album and one Metallica album, if you even still have them, could always get the rest. Through Oblivion is my favorite song if I had to pick one. Yeah, see, I was never crazy about that one. See, it's tough for me to pick a favorite song from Siren Charms because I think the majority of them are pretty bad. Maybe Paralyzed. I think that song is kind of decent. Maybe With Eyes Wide Open as well. That song I think is decent as well. But yeah, just to name a couple. Maybe one of those songs would be my favorite. Yes, maybe so. Yeah. What if Yes came out with an album called Maybe, and then the next one's called Depends, and then they release another album called Not Sure, and then their final album, No. I'm actually okay with bands continuing without their original members because who are we to judge as long as they still put out good music? True, and you always don't know the circumstance. You don't know the situation. Like with my film work, for example, a lot of the people that helped me with my older projects are not involved anymore. So, you just don't always know the circumstance. Yes, I really don't know. Zach, I don't know if that would be a good idea for Yes to come out with an album called Depends, because you can imagine the internet culture jokes and memes about that. Probably. Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, it doesn't seem like I have many people in the stream either, which that's not a bad thing. But then again, it could be because, I have my settings up to subs only. And I'm not sure how long I'll be streaming for, to be honest. I mean, hopefully for not that long. How hard was it to listen to As I Lay Dying after what the lead singer did came out? Well, I actually didn't get into As I Lay Dying till after he went to jail. So I knew about it, but I was just like, yeah. But I could separate art from the artist. And, you know, I was kind of young when I got into As I Lay Dying. I mean, not, I mean, it was one of those cases where it was like, yeah, I could just separate art from the artist. But now now that, like, I've grown up a little bit, and I've matured a little bit, you know, I have more knowledge of things, and, you know, it's, I'd say it's a little bit harder now than it was when I first got into the band. But that's just me. Like Motley Crue, for instance, I'm okay with Mick Mars leaving, just not under the circumstances, but they replaced him with an overrated guitar player. I could separate the art from the artist unless it involves children. Yeah, exactly. That is why I don't ever plan on getting into Lost Prophets. You know, it's one of those cases where it's like, no. And isn't it funny how, like, it seems to be like with that scene, like with that whole Warped Tour scene, like you notice this with like Blood on the Dance Floor as well. Like what is in the water with this particular, this like whole emo scene? Like they have that issue, you know? I don't get it. You heard of Blood on the Dance Floor? They are compared to Lost Prophets. Yeah, I know. Yep, I am definitely aware of the stuff with Blood on the Dance Floor. Not cool. And on top of all of that, their music's not that good anyway. Even what Davi did doesn't compare to Ian, though. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're both pretty bad, but I see what you mean. Because I think Ian, what he did was basically, I mean, it was just a whole nother scenario. I'm not even sure what to make of it. It's one of the reasons why anybody send me the director is better than off drowning in a lake than being hung by the neck. I don't care who you are. I'm going to trade it for cash. Yeah. I see what you mean. And look, I typically have this attitude, like this mentality, like, you know, towards people like that, like, okay, they're innocent until proven guilty, unlike how the internet works, where it's basically switched around. But I'm pretty sure that all of that stuff has basically been confirmed. Like it's all been said and done, basically. Like there's too much that came out about that. Yeah, there was a video of Ian, unfortunately. Ooh, okay. But he said he was CGI. Wow. You know, it's funny because that's kind of one of the things that scares me about this whole AI stuff. Like, could you imagine like what haters could do with AI if like they got their hands on that and what they can make you out to be, basically? Listen, even if my grandmother bought me the Roman movie for my birthday, sorry, Grandma, but I'm going to get the cash for this. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, who could blame you? Well, imagine if a drone delivers pizza to your house. Do you have to tip the drone? Yeah. Like AI, yeah, AI Putin. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a good example, Ridge. I never really would have thought of that. Because, you know, there's nothing worse than a false accuser, basically. I do think that, like, when it comes to these people, the punishments for them need to be way harsher. I know because I've dealt with these people before, and it's not cool. Um, but yeah, like you said, that example that you just named there, I'm like, yeah. And here's my thing. Here's my conspiracy about that. I think that they've already invented this technology like a long time ago, and it's just now kind of making its way to light. You know, it's making its way to the public. You know, I think that a lot of the advancements in the technology that have been relevant for the last few years, you know, have always been made, but just are starting to come out. Dobby's first victim, who was didn't press charges as long as didn't contact her again, so it could have been prevented earlier. Yeah, it could have been, but it's pretty clear that he did it again. So, you know, who's to say that he wouldn't? My uncle went to jail for 5 years for selling plants and stuff, but these types get out earlier sometimes. For selling plants? What? Come on, Zach, there's your next drone. Hey, thriller about a guy who did not tip the drone and now on the run can be like the fugitive meets the enemy of the state. Yeah. Yeah, that would be crazy. Oh, those kind of plants. Okay, I see what you mean, Ridge. Yeah, that's kind of what I figured he meant, but I wasn't sure. I didn't know if they would let me say that word. Yeah. Yeah, you never know, right? The world's crazy, man. Um, but yeah, all I know is people just need to be cool, man. Like, why is that so difficult? Like I've always been the guy where it's like, you know, if you're cool with me, then I'll be cool with you. Like I don't get what's so complicated about that. MJ hasn't been in your streams in forever. I think he actually might have been in the last one or the one before that. But it wasn't for very long. But yeah, he hasn't really been too active in my streams. And YouTube is going to have to try hard to get rid of me and my entire channel. You're getting your lawyer, yeah. Yeah, go for it. The old metalcore fan base with All That Remains, August Burns Red Fit, For King, etc. is pretty conservative compared to the really any modern metalcore. Yeah, because most of the people that like the modern metalcore stuff are Gen Z, and most of Gen Z is woke. So there you go. Put 2 and 2 together. And some of the other bands that you mentioned, like August Burns Red and Fit for a King, are Christian bands, so there's that. It is impossible for everyone to agree on something. Yeah. And that's one of the things that I don't understand about, like, a lot of these social justice whack jobs. Like, okay, yeah, you're offended by something I say. Like, there's this one chick that got offended on my Facebook one time just because I used the word woke, and she was like, "Oh, you're against diversity," and I'm like, "Okay, no, I'm not." Clearly, have you not ever seen any of my films? I can't I can't associate with someone whose, you know, films don't include diversity. Well, you've never even seen my films, so how would you know? I've had diversity since the very start of my filmography, so what the heck are you talking about? YouTube is a leftist company. Yeah, unfortunately. Same, man, we need to learn to forgive and move on. It's sad how people can't do that these days. Yeah. They can't comprehend people actually think differently. Yeah, I know. Isn't that funny? Is that weird to you guys? Like, some people really can't comprehend that there's people that think differently. It's funny, they call me a right-wing lunatic, but if you remember my old videos, I made like 100 against Trump. They assume if you remotely disagree. Well, yeah, but see, that's how these people function. Because they think that if you criticize one side, that must mean that you're on the complete opposite side. And it goes for both ways. Like, if you bash the left, they assume, "Oh, you're a right-winger." No, I'm just anti-left. That's all that it is. And it's the same thing with the right as well. Like, oh, you know, you don't like the conservative side of things. Well, you know, that means that you're on the left. No, it doesn't. It's like these people forgot that there was a middle ground. Ever heard of this thing called libertarians, independents? Some chick I went on a date with left me because I said these people are hard workers as the waiters. And the waiters, not a specific race of people, like she thought. Oh my gosh. That's horrible, Andrew. It's funny because only the bands in the new generation I really liked. Greta Van Fleet, Mammoth, WVH, Wolf Van Halen, I guess you mean. It's the top of my head. Yeah, I'll be honest, I have a hard time getting into a lot of today's stuff. And when I mean today's stuff, I basically mean any band from 2010 to now, basically. That's basically my definition of today's bands. And if people start saying that bands that formed in 2010 are classic bands, good God, don't make me feel old. I don't agree with my father on a lot of things, even other members of the family. Yeah, that'll happen, though. Again, you're not going to agree with everyone on everything. That's life. Truth always lies in the middle there. There's no gray areas anymore. Yeah, I know. I'm a libertarian, but I'm getting tired of being a silent libertarian. It's one of the reasons I'm starting my own media company. Yeah, Junebug, I know you've talked about starting your own media company. I mean, I'm trying to do the same thing, but it hasn't been working out that well for me. Thing is, I just don't know where to start. Thankfully, the silent majority is rising. There's millions of us. Keep speaking your mind, yeah. Greta Van Fleet is good, and so is Mammoth with Van Halen. Yeah, I've actually seen Greta Van Fleet live with because they opened up for Metallica. Amity Affliction, a classic metalcore band, but not a classic band in general, obviously. See, I wouldn't even agree that they're a classic metalcore band. Like, classic metalcore for me would be like As I Lay Dying and Demon Hunter and Killswitch Engage, of course. Mainly the 90s and early 2000s bands. I have an idea. It's something I'll talk to you about in private, though. Okay. Sounds cool. You can agree to disagree, that's cool. Oh, man. Isn't Killswitch the founders of metalcore? Well, I think they're the founders of the metalcore we know it today. Like, they weren't the first metalcore band. I think metalcore has been out since the late 90s. At Chili's, we had a waitress that complained, I think, because my friend had a American flag on his t-shirt. Really? Well, that's kind of dumb. And it's like, you live in America, but you're complaining about that? That don't make sense. My brother saw Three Doors Down live, and he said it was just decent. Oh, okay. Yeah, I never got into Three Doors Down. That girl dumped me midday, texted me after the date. I can't be with a guy. It's racially insensitive. My reply was, "Well, good riddance." Just because you said that everyone here is a good worker. I tell you, man, these people make everything about race anymore. It's really starting to get annoying. Good day, Zach. Remember, never let yourself be silenced by them. I'll try not to, Ridge. Thanks for joining. I mean, it's safe to say that this has been a good stream as well. I mean, I kind of figured that if I gave it some time, things would be cool. This year, it was fun seeing Skillet with Saint Azonia live yet again. We set through Theory of a Dead Man at the same time, though. Oh, gosh. I got a waitress fired because my ex-girlfriend, at the time, uniform, she went to Applebee's and we found in her food. Oh, interesting. Yeah, see, like, when I go to restaurants and stuff, like, I try not to complain, Like, even when they get something wrong, you know, I try my best to be polite about it. You know, but there's some customer services out there that's like that is kind of irritating, like with Amazon. Like I was sending something to my GF recently, and it said it would be to her by, I think, July, and you know, it was running late or something. I'm like, okay, it's running late, and it's, I don't know what the deal is with that. So I'm like, is this coming or not? I mean, I did eventually get a refund for it, but is it still coming? That's the question. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I try my best not to complain about things. I don't believe in complaining at all either, but when you active duty soldier and I had to say something, yeah, I mean, I can't blame you. I try to be polite as well, unless if it's something serious. Yeah, exactly. That's the way to be. It just, it all depends on what it is, you know. I try to be silent about it as long as the food is good. Yeah, can't complain. Free meal. Yeah, there you go. I mean, I think the worst I've ever had in my food, like at restaurants, was probably like hair or something. It's really about it as far as I'm concerned. What's up, Dead Yellow? But then it was really funny because the waitress flipped me off, and I just responded, "Good for you." In the air, congratulations. Yeah, see, your response totally different than how I would have responded. I would have probably used some nice words, let's just say that. I'm watching End of Evangelion right now for my brother's birthday. Cool. I don't think I've ever seen that. The middle finger doesn't mean anything to me anymore. It's like, okay, yeah. Yeah, for me, it's a different story. Like, I just, like, if someone were to do that to me, like, I don't know how I would react today. I mean, it's probably best not to react, but I don't trust myself not to. That's the thing. Because I will admit, I can be a bit overly defensive. And like I said, I know that Fabio deals with way more haters and trolls than I do, so but he also has more people backing him up. So, you know, I mean, he has a way bigger audience than I do. So, I mean, I think he's deserving of it for sure, but I'm just putting it out there. You know, whereas me, it's like, you know, I have all different types of people who watch me from, you know, but it seems like Fabio and in his audience all kind of think very similar. Whereas me, you know, you get different responses, you know. And that could be my fault in how I'm portraying things, but oh well. Well, I've also responded, so you can stick your middle finger up in the air, and I can do the same thing, and I start laughing and say congratulations, good for you. Wow. Well, that's really something. Yeah, it says what's 6, 7 people? Hmm. But yeah, I thought that one video idea that I mentioned earlier would be I thought that would be cool, about movies I dislike with actors that I love. I think that would be kind of interesting. Kind of go over a list like that. Maybe once you just reach 30, you'll have the I don't care attitude like me and Fabio. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, hopefully this channel is up to Fabio's level if once I reach 30. I mean, I kind of do already have that attitude somewhat now, so maybe you're not entirely wrong, because I did start to notice as I get older, I kind of do start to have that attitude more. But like I said, I could still be like overly defensive about things. I was even talking to a girl recently online, and it didn't work out. She threatened to leak my photos. Go ahead. Oh gosh. Well, what is it photos of? Just you? Yeah, go ahead. Like, is it just your face? Okay. Because that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, sometimes, just gotta do your thing. No, she's threatening to leak what she was talking about. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I think okay. Yeah. I see what you mean. Well, that is interesting. Guess what? She didn't do it. Yeah, of course she didn't. That's just the way that it goes, I guess. I mean, it says I got 6 people in here, but there's only... Oh, 9 people in here. Jeez. And it looks like Junebug is the only one speaking. You made the mistake she was 24. What do you mean? But okay. Yeah, I don't know. Like I have my settings on subscribers only, so I don't know. What, hey, Junebug, what is your opinion on Rambo Ralph, that guy? I do like some of his videos, and I know that he does live stream sometimes, but my only problem with him is he really only replies to Super Chat. I can't stand YouTubers like that. That's why I do like Fabio's stream so much, because he replies to 99% of his comments that he gets. Like, you don't have to pay to get recognized by him, basically. Just pay requests for reviews and stuff. Let me see. For those who have Snapchat, has anybody got scam texts asking you to do something dirty? No. I mean, I don't have Snapchat, so pretty glad I don't. Technically considered Gen Z. Anybody born after 96 is considered Gen Z, because millennials are 82 to 96. Yeah, I just made it. I just made it in the millennial generation. Good thing too, because being Gen Z, I'm sure, is something to be proud of. Probably a good thing they get worse and worse and worse since I fight back with silly comments. Yeah. So yeah, that girl was 24, fell under Gen Z. Yeah, I mean, if she's 24, yeah, that would be Gen Z. So Gen Z is what? That's 1997 to where? Like 2009 or something? I could be wrong on that, but I'm not sure. Oh, okay, 1997 to 2011. Okay. I was kind of close. Just 2 years off. So what is 2012 onto now? What's that generation known as? Isn't that like Gen Zero or something? Recently, I revisited a video of all the pop culture references in the movie Dougal and the Boy a lot for a movie produced. Oh, okay. Okay. Hmm. Interesting. Dumbo generation. I really don't know, yeah. Yeah, but it's not just Gen Z though that are these whack jobs. I mean, there's people in our generation that like are weirdos. Even people much older, there's just a lot of brainwashed people out there. It's not just Gen Z. Although, with the way it works now, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like Gen ZZ0. Oh. Yeah, I don't know how any of that works. Do you remember when we were in high school, there as kids made videos eating Tide Pod? I do remember the Tide Pods thing. That was stupid. That was that Tide Pod challenge thing. That was like from like. I mean, I think I was in college when that was going on. So, yeah, that was only like 5 years ago, I think, when that was going on. I remember it being pretty stupid, but, I was like, okay, what's the point of that? You know what other thing I never got was the whole ice bucket challenge thing. That's something else too that I never understood. Like I don't understand these trends. Like I see I just don't care. Like I never cared about this stuff. Like I don't know if it's just I'm too old for this stuff or I'm just out of the loop, or I'm too mature for that. I got other things to worry about than these dumb little trends that these weirdos come up with. You completely forgot about the Tide Pod challenge, yeah. Once you reach 30 years, it's just kind of a blur together. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure it is. And I think the ice bucket challenge thing, that's like that's even going further back than the Tide Pod challenge, I think. Like that was like from like what, 2015 or something? Probably even before that. And you know what else I don't understand is these whole prank videos where these guys go out in public to like Walmart or something, and like they like do stuff to strangers, and I'm like, are you trying to get whooped right now? Like, some people, man. I are to support the Ice Bucket Challenge because it was a good idea. It was for a good cause. Yeah, what was the cause for the Ice Bucket Challenge? Because I didn't know that. Some stupid conspiracy once said that the Ice Bucket Challenge is evil. I don't know about it being evil. I never understood the point of it. That's all. Yeah, now that I think about it, what was for the cause for the Ice Bucket Challenge? Because I think I did hear something about that. Yeah, I might be wrapping up here soon anyways. Gotta start winding down here soon. It was awareness to some disease. So they had a teacher die from it. I went to her funeral. Oh, okay. Okay. Hmm. Okay, I think that sounds familiar. But yeah, hopefully hopefully I can get some X-ray filming soon. I'll be honest, I have not been doing much filming this year. I just found out Bullet for My Valentine is coming to Houston. Band that my good friend flew all the way to Charlotte to go see them. So funny, yeah. Yeah, see, I don't think I could do that for any band. I don't think I could go to another state to see a band. I mean, if it was like a vacation thing where like if maybe like some friends or something invited me to join them on like a vacation to something to go see this band and we could just hang out in that particular state or whatever. I mean, then I might do it, but I don't think it's something that I could just like randomly do, like. And I've noticed when I went to see Metallica, the highways were packed. I've noticed like there were people from Canada coming here to see Metallica, so that was kind of cool. You'll let me know when Demon Hunter is coming to Kansas City. Okay. Red is coming to Houston as well. That's cool. Yeah, I'm thinking one of my next videos will probably be the review for their new single. That should be dropping here shortly. I don't know when you can expect it though, but all I know is it's probably going to be my next video if I had to guess. I actually haven't went to any concerts this year. It is what it is. Did you hear they're talking about having an Ozzy tour in a golden wheelchair, complete diamonds and rubies? No, I didn't hear that. Although the band live, I think it's either this month or next month they're coming to the area. But money has been tight for me recently, which is a situation that I never guessed I would be in a year ago. So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. I mean, I would like to see live. But oh well. If Ozzy tours in a wheelchair, though, that is rock and roll. Yeah, for sure. Is he really confined to a wheelchair, though? Because I don't know about that. But yeah, he's not confined to a wheelchair, but he has a hard time standing. Problem. Really, I didn't know that. That's kind of sad. I mean, I know that Ozzy's health has been at a decline, and honestly, I'm really not if I'm being honest, I'm not really expecting Ozzy to be with us much longer. I think I think maybe he at least has a couple of years left in him. Maybe. I don't know. You know, Ozzy is like that old man that has a problem standing for a long period of time. Oh, okay. So wait, he could still stand, but just not for very long. Wasn't Patient Number 9 supposed to be his final album? Maybe his... Well, it might be his final album, but it doesn't mean that he can't tour. You know, there's a lot of bands that put out their final album and then tour for the rest of their career. I think that's what Slayer did. I think they released their last album in like 2015 or something, and then they just toured, and then that was it. And the next thing you know, we're celebrating Ozzy's 100th birthday. Yeah, we'll see. This was supposed to be his final tour, but not final album. Okay. Yeah, I've actually never got into Ozzy's solo work. I mean, I love the stuff that he's in with Black Sabbath, you know, back in the early days, but I never really got into Ozzy's like solo work. But I mean, I do like what I've heard though. Like I think there's a version that he did of Iron Man that I thought sounded pretty cool. So again, I do like what I've heard from his solo work. I just never really got into it. At this rate, I'm rooting for Ozzy just because the world needs something positive. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you on that. I mean, it's amazing that Ozzy is still going at it all these years later. I mean, same with Rob Halford as well. Like, Rob Halford's also getting pretty old as well. And there's still talks about there being another Judas Priest album, so I mean, it shows that, you know, he hasn't stopped. I mean, granted, I wouldn't be surprised if the next Judas Priest album ends up being the last one. And that would be fine if it is, because, you know, they've had such a long run, so could be similar to about Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top. They've been around since the late 60s and still around, putting out a new album soon. Huh. That is interesting. Couldn't Ozzy do some live stuff like on YouTube with his band? Yeah, probably. Rob Halford just needs to get rid of that stupid nose ring. Yeah, I know. I mean, I do like the stuff that he posts on Instagram and stuff, because he's like posting like cat videos and cat pictures and stuff, so I'm like, yeah, I can. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to a lot of these like legendary bands that have been around for a while, you could tell that over time they're starting to slow down a bit. Like, there are some bands that still do consistently put out albums, like Overkill. Overkill, they've been at it since the early 80s, I think. And they're still consistently putting out albums. Like still like 3 to 4 album cycles. Like, okay, not a new album and then 10 years later another new album, like the way that bands like Metallica do it. Or Anthrax. Anthrax is another band that I think desperately needs to put out another album. But Rob Halford is the coolest gay guy. Yeah, because he doesn't shove that stuff down anyone's throat. Must really suck to be a Tool fan. Can't wait 20 years for a new album. Yeah. That's probably how long it'll take for their next album. And if you think about it, at the end of the day, Tool will not have a lengthy discography. They will not ever have a lengthy discography because they've been around since the 90s and they only have 5 albums now. So, you know, and the next album will probably take another 10 years to come out. So, oh boy, a 6th album. And then what after that? That's it? That's it for Tool? Again, they'll never have a lengthy discography. Which, that's not inherently a bad thing, but, you know, most legendary bands do have a lengthy discography. U2 is a band that's overdue for a new album. Yeah, I never got into U2, but I can believe that. I think if you are a record, you should have any contract where you have to put an album every 3 years. Yeah, well, that's usually the case with most bands. Most bands usually do They usually don't wait more than 3 years to put out a new album. I know that Demon Hunter, they never went past the 3 year mark. Now, the wait for Exile was pretty long because in between War and Peace and Exile, we actually had to wait 3.5 years. But still, that's 3 years. And of course, we did have Songs of Death and Resurrection the year before it, so I guess you could say that that was basically enough to hold the fans over until Exile came out. Same thing with Trivium as well. I know that Trivium also doesn't wait more than 3 years to put out an album, and that's why I believe that they're going to put out a new one next year. I'm kind of expecting it, but we'll see what happens. But honestly, three years between albums, I think that's a little too much. I would honestly push it to 4. I would push the contract to maybe 4 to 5 years. That seems a little more reasonable. But that's just my opinion. It's a different story with pop and rap. They seem to have albums every year, if not 2 a year. Yeah. You know, it's funny you say that because I remember hearing someone a few years ago say, yeah, I'm done with rock and metal music because it takes too long for them to release albums. And this is someone that likes rap music. Well, of course you're gonna get something new from rap like every month. So, you know, that's just the way that it goes. But yeah, I think I will start wrapping up here shortly. So if you guys have any final thoughts, any things that you want to say, now is the time. I'll at least keep this going for 2 more minutes just so I can reach the 2-hour mark. Just because. I guess that's a little OCD going on. You have heard a rumor that Def Leppard might put out a new album already? Didn't they just put out one last year? Has anyone else had a problem with the past few CD pickups I've picked up and have scratches on the disc? I don't think I've really had that problem recently, I don't think. I usually do take good care of my stuff. Although I remember this one time I got this CD from FYE and it was really hard to get out of the case for some reason, and it ended up breaking. So I'm just like, yeah, I'm taking this back. That's a little messed up. 2021 is when they're last. No, I'm pretty sure Def Leppard came out with an album last year. I mean, I don't doubt that Def Leppard will ever put out an album, but I just don't think it's going to be anytime soon because, again, we just had Diamond Star Halos last year. Which I will admit, it's a decent album. I mean, I don't really return to it that much. And that's another struggle for a lot of these older bands. Like you're always gonna be in favor of the old stuff, you know? You're always gonna listen to the old stuff more. than any of the new stuff. Like with Metallica, like how many times are you gonna in the next few years? How many times are you gonna listen to Hardwired or 72 Seasons when compared to Master of Puppets or And Justice for All or the Black Album or Ride the Lightning? You know. It, Now, Overkill is a different story because I think their new stuff is almost as good as their old stuff. And it kind of works for Megadeth as well. Like, how many times are you going to listen to The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead? Like, would you rather listen to that over Rust in Peace or Peace Sells But Who's Buying? I don't think so. I know Joe Elliott said he couldn't stop looking at Taylor Swift when he did the song with her. Oh gosh. uh that's really something. I know the drummer for Def Leppard, doesn't he have like one arm or something? And that's why they went on a hiatus back in the 80s. Like back in the late 80s, they went on hiatus. And I think the guy can actually play with one arm now. I think that's how he does it now. Yes, he was in a horrible car accident where he had to amputate his arm and his drum set specifically rigged so he can play. Ah, okay. Yeah, I think I heard something about him being in some accident. It's interesting because didn't that happen like right after the release of Pyromania? And then the following album would be their most commercially successful. So, you know, I mean, their success all worked out in the end. And he can actually he actually can put two arm drummers to shame sometimes. Yeah, I can believe that. Jan E. Cakes, you're ready for the big time, bro? What does that even mean? But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of impressed by the Def Leppard's drummer's work because, you know, obviously, if he can still play with one arm, that shows some skill. I mean, even Pink Floyd is talking about putting out a new album mainly because David Gilmour and his grandkids are Ukrainian. Oh, okay. Yeah, and I know that Pink Floyd has been at it for a long time as well. Exact Monday. I'm sorry, I don't know what you're saying there, Jan E. Despite my personal feelings about Ukraine thing, it means getting more Pink Floyd than Sign Me Up. Yeah, yeah. For me, I've never got into Pink Floyd, but I mean, obviously, just because I'm not into a band, that doesn't mean that I can't acknowledge, you know, that there is a reason why they do have an audience, and that I can still I can still, basically respect the fact that maybe they are skilled musicians. So there's that. Pink Floyd is my favorite band of all time. Well, there you go. And that's fine. Yeah, for me, I don't know. I think it's a little late for me to, um, I think it's a little late for me to get into Pink Floyd, to be honest. I'm unsubscribing because you don't like Pink Floyd. LOL joke. Yeah, I kind of figured. I just listened to you to learn band talk. Hmm. Okay then. Okay then. Wasn't Genesis on their farewell tour because Phil Collins couldn't stand up long or play his drums and sing for a while? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I do think that, I think, yeah, I think Genesis went on their final tour as well, which is crazy to think about. And Genesis actually hasn't released a studio album since 1997. And it wasn't even an album with Phil Collins. I kind of do wish Genesis would have taken the Black Sabbath route and just have Phil Collins back, release one album with him, and then just call it a day at that. I will say this: there is hope for the kids now. A lot of kids now listening to bands from the 80s, 70s, and 60s. Yeah, well, you've heard Fabio say it before that, like, suddenly these old songs become popular just because they get featured in movies. Like, just because Guns N' Roses' Sweet Child O' Mine wasn't Thor Love and Thunder, now it's suddenly this huge song. I don't even think I've ever even heard the song till the advertisements for Thor Love and Thunder. And now it's like, can we stop with this overplayed stuff already? Also sad to see Aerosmith go on their farewell tour. Yeah, true. Aerosmith is another band that I know it's been a while since they put out an album, and I know that they've been at it for a long time as well, so. Yeah, I mean, we are in those times where, a lot of these old bands are starting to wind down a bit. I would at least like to see Genesis put out one last album with Phil Collins if they want to continue with the Wilson guy. Yeah, I would have actually liked to see what would have happened if Genesis continued with Ray Wilson. Because I really don't think he's that bad of a singer. I really don't think... Now, is he the worst Genesis singer? Probably. But I don't think that he's a bad singer. I think he's alright, actually. And I actually like some of the songs from Calling All Stations. Like the title track. And Congo. So again, I would kind of like to see what would have happened if they would have continued with him. Like, you don't know. They could have potentially put out an album with him that ended up being really strong. It's one of those things that you have to wonder, like, you kind of have to put yourself in some alternate reality. Like, okay, like, what if their next album came out in like 2001 or 2002 or something after Calling All Stations? And it also featured Ray Wilson. And it actually ended up being a pretty good album. So it's one of those things that you kind of have to think about a little bit. But yeah, I know I said I would be wrapping up here shortly, so I think I will go ahead and call it a night. So yeah, it's been a pretty chill stream, I would say. So thank you guys for joining, especially thank you to Junebug, because I think you've contributed most to the conversations here. So it was cool to stream again for sure. So I don't know when to next expect a stream from me. Well, maybe Ray Wilson, if they continue to with him, they could have done a song for Tarzan too. Oh yeah, no. Oh man. But anyhow, thank you guys for joining the stream. Hopefully you all had a good time. So hopefully I could, I guess, keep you guys entertained enough, you know. But yeah, anyhow, thanks for joining the stream. Have a good night.